Okay, guys. Somehow, Elle revived after I killed her, and I'm a bit disappointed. So Elle's here.
Wait, why did you kill me? I'm still unclear about why I was killed in the first place.
Well, if I tell you, then I'll have to kill you.
Oh.
Which I'm going to do anyway.
Oh.
So maybe I should just tell you.
Yeah, maybe.
Nope, this is the Unidentified podcast episode 7?
Is it? Yeah.
I don't know.
think so.
7. So, sure. As I mentioned, Elle is here. I'm Randy. Nathan's also here.
Hey.
Having some weird mic issues, but well, we're going through it.
Power true, man.
We'll just get there. We'll do it. We'll find a way. So today, we're just going to do what we normally do, and that's just talk about whatever. And Elle wants to talk about Risk, apparently. I'm not sure how she's going to do it, so I'm kind of curious.
What? Risk. Oh, right.
Yeah, Risk.
So in my
The board game.
Yeah, exactly. In my game design class, we had to make a game theory, and then in the second class we had to prototype it, and then in the third class we had to play test it. So
Someone made Risk.
no, that's not. I'm getting there, Randy.
Okay.
No, but what happened was we prototyped the game, which was this kind of hexagonal real-time strategy about well, I guess I'll just be...
So Civilization, right?
What?
Civilization's turn-based, man.
Yeah, but it's hexagonal, man.
It is.
Well, I mean,
Gotcha
it's
there.
just like... It started out with us having the idea for like a video game, but then of course all the prototyping had to be with board game elements, which is confusing. So we had to drastically change it into it becoming more of like a hexagonal real-time strategy, like Conqueror kind of game where you have to circle around enemy, armies and kill them and stuff like that. But it was about a computer program that is infecting the world, and it was weird. It was like a big multi-4-person sesh thing. But anyway, because of it, when we did playtesting, we had to learn how to playtest first, I guess. So the teacher brought in a whole bunch of games, board games, and was like, all right,
what?
all class, everybody's playing games. So
What games did he bring in? I must know.
he brought in Risk, this game called, oh shit, I don't remember it.
Potmatic
Kerplunk.
Trouble.
We were supposed to play lots
Mousetrap.
of games, but I only played Risk because it took so long. There was Goldfinger, or GoldenEye, no, it was Gold something. It was not like the N64 one, though. It was.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, I didn't know either.
Yahtzee?
No, not Yahtzee.
Candyland?
Potmatic Trouble?
Nope, not Candyland. But there was a European game called like the Magical Labyrinth or something,
Pachisi?
but it had no instructions. Well, it had
Snakes
no,
and Ladders?
No, it was
Sorry.
like all in pictures, but the only instructions were in German.
Oh,
Yeah,
Monopoly.
it seemed confusing, so I just played Risk.
Scrabble.
No Scrabble. It was only
Game of
like
Life.
like weird strategical kind of games, I guess.
Oh, I'm just listing all the board games I know.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm running dry. It's been a while.
Yeah, and then there was one that was like Monopoly, except it was like you were supposed to strategically like consume your friends' empires.
Payday?
No, it was about like companies and buyouts and stuff.
Payday is poor man's Monopoly.
I don't remember
Let's
what
be
it was
honest.
called.
Payday was Monopoly that actually ends in a few minutes. Or like 20 minutes.
What's the
as
fun of
opposed
that?
to the
Monopoly-
6 hours that Monopoly takes.
Monopoly is a test of endurance as much as it is money. You need to that game can go on for hours upon hours. And that's what makes it so great.
Yeah, we
All right,
spent
off
all of
topic.
class playing
Risk.
Yeah,
How long is your class?
yeah, 3 hours.
Oh yeah, it's
Oh.
once a week, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, that's about appropriate.
I was so good at Risk. It was my first time. And like, because there was one guy in our group that was teaching everybody how to play, because none of us had played before except this one guy. And he's like, oh yeah, I have a class, like every week my friends and I get together and we play games like this. So he was like really into it. But he was being very like strategically trying to like fuck with everybody. Like get in their heads and be like, yeah, that's a good move, I guess. Like, I don't know.
I'm just imagining this guy kicking back in his chair, boots up on the table, toothpick in his mouth. Huh, that's a good move, I guess.
Yeah, it was funny. But
Shot of
just
whiskey.
Whips out his trap card and then screws you all.
yeah, he was like,
I'm kind of picturing this war commander guy.
Napoleon.
Yeah. the Psychonauts level.
Brilliant.
But he was like fucking with everybody.
Yeah.
And like, we all had like, you have the different little colored numbers because that's how many armies you have. And so I picked like the black one because,
Racist.
I'm one of those.
Wait, maybe it's not racist.
No, you have like black, yellow, red,
That was racist.
blue, and brown. And I was like, oh my god, really? I'm going to be black. And I'm going to say that my army is like an army of skeletons. Like, I'm Sauron's army. Why not? I could make it up, right? Yeah. So I pretended I was a necromanced army from hell that came back and was just like hanging out. And of course, all of my countries that I got, because we did it by cards in the beginning. So all of the countries I got were in Africa. And I was like, yes. So I immediately got like all of Africa, basically. And then...
I mean, we should... Nah, I'm not going to, but if you don't know the mechanics behind the Risk, maybe look them up.
Oh,
because
yeah.
some of this might be confusing. We're not going to explain it because this game is 1 billion years old, but...
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I got most of my settlements in Africa and a few of them in North America. And one right between North and South America. And, like, one in Europe, I guess. And I was just like, oh, hey, Africa. Like, wouldn't it be weird if I was just all up in you right now? And everyone else is kind of scattered around. So they kept, like, trying to, like, kind of horn in on my territory. And they would kind of build themselves up. But then every time they would get close to Africa, I would just, like, annihilate them because I had so many soldiers in Africa. And I got so many soldiers each round. Because if you have a continent, like, locked down in a country, you get extra armies every turn. So, like, but my other armies in other countries, like in North America and South America, would get, like, attacked a lot. Because, like, the guy sitting on my left was like, oh, yeah, because he was trying to take over all of North America. And he'd be like, I'm gonna attack Peru. And I'd be like, don't attack Peru. I only have 2 soldiers there. And he'd be like, I'm gonna put my 4 against your 2. I think I can do it. But then he would roll, because he has to roll, you get to roll, like, 3 to 2. Because I only get to use 2 dice. Because I'm the defender. Right. But yes. Defender, if they tie, they always win. So he would roll, like a 4, and I would roll a 6 every time. So like,
wait, how would he roll? He roll a 4 with 4 dice? No,
he rolls 3 dice, and his highest dice is the one I have to beat with my dice. But I only get 2 dice.
So the attacker rolls 3 dice. The defender rolls 2.
Yeah, or unless they only have 1 soldier on there, then they only roll 1.
So it's not dice per soldier?
No, I mean it up to 3 for the attacker and up to 2 for the defender.
Okay.
And then you just go in turns, like. If you have more than if you have like, 14 soldiers, you have to roll like 2 dice or 3 dice as the attacker, like multiple times.
Okay.
So it can be kind of amazing when somebody who's trying to horn in on you in Peru has to start weeding out their soldiers because you just keep rolling 6s. I was like, ha ha ha. So everybody knew they couldn't fuck with me because I had amazing rolling luck.
So you had rigged dice.
I did not.
Cheat dice.
Everybody uses the same dice.
Yeah. Yep.
It came in the box, bro. No, the thing
box
that I did
you planted there
is I blew on my dice. That's how you make them do your little number.
My dad used to blow some cigar smoke onto the dice.
You just blow regular smoke. You just blow regular mouth onto
regular
them.
mouth juice.
You just blow your mouth on them.
Mouth exhaust. Just put it in there.
And we made up this rule that if you one of the dice falls off the table, you lose an army because that's sloppy hand.
House rules.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, I totally won because I got all of Africa and all of South America and part of North America. So I was killing.
So did you like it?
Yeah, I liked that I was winning. I don't know if I would like it if I didn't play with fun people though.
Yeah, I've never played Risk. I'm one of the few classic board games that I've never touched.
Yeah. I don't know. Apparently you have to get like certain countries in order to win. Like Australia is imperative.
Nathan, you brought up Mousetrap.
Yes, I did.
What is the game? I've played Mousetrap a few times. Uh-huh. What is the game of Mousetrap? The actual game part of it. Because the trap part doesn't, you don't need that. That's just there for show.
I thought that was the game, just to look at the coup.
Trap, right?
I know that, but in theory,
most of it is just looking at the cool traps.
Right, that's just looking at the thing go. You don't need that part. There's a game there, but no one knows what it is because it sucks.
It's a bit like Hot
only
Wheels the
reason
game. That's the best way to put it. You just look at the cool things in motion, and you realize, oh yeah, we were meant to be playing a game.
Yeah, the only thing that is fun about Mousetrap is the thing. And then once you see that, you're like, okay, let's never play. And then not to mention, after you play it 2 times, you break something or you lose something, and then you can never use it.
Yeah, that's always the case with really flimsy plastic Mattel games.
These are like non-games. Like Elephant the Elephant.
Oh, yeah! I remember the commercial for that.
That's not a game.
Do you remember the Gooey Louie?
What?
Which is Gooey Louie was a guy with a humongous nose, and you'd had to pick his boogers out.
I remember that.
And if you picked the wrong booger, his brain would fly out. And the person that picked the one that made his brain fly out
it was
lost.
like Operation.
You'd go into yeah.
What the
It's really funny.
fuck?
I mean, they were not like real boogers. They were just like gummies. Not even gummies. I don't even know how to explain it. They were little green, squishy thingies.
That's disgusting.
Looked like worms.
That is disgusting.
What about Gator Golf?
No.
Gator Golf.
I remember.
Oh, is that the one with the
It's
crocodile's
the alligator.
mouth?
Yeah, and it's open,
Yeah.
and you
and it like opens.
golf
and goes
into
his
it,
mouth.
Yeah.
and then and if you get it into his mouth, he shoots it back from his tail.
I had that.
All right. I was on
I
about something
had
else.
it as a kid. I remember.
The one I was talking about was like it's a crocodile mouth. It's open, and you press the teeth. And if you press the wrong one, he chomps down in your hand.
Oh.
It's like it was a really old like
Cautionary tale. Jeez.
Yeah, but like I remember seeing it. It was like on a Japanese game show. They put like thumbtacks on the top
Good
roof.
God!
Yeah. So if you get it wrong, it's just chomp and just you get pricked really hard by thumbtacks, which is definitely not fun.
Yeah, there was
Japan.
this dentist game too where it was stupid because you didn't actually pull the teeth out; you push the teeth in, and if you push the wrong tooth in, then he chomps down on your finger.
Why would you put
It didn't
teeth
hurt.
in?
Well, it's because they're like, oh, kids are stupid; they'll lose the teeth, so we'll have to. Well, not to mention, with the ability to push the teeth in, they can make the tooth random every time you play. Where if you had to pull them out, you couldn't do that.
You had 7 canines or something.
Yeah. So, yeah, that was a dumb game.
They should have done it with like an older lady and have it be like veneers.
You remember I remember this guy, there was this bucket thing that you had to like scoop up the balls before.
Oh my god.
And you would spit the
Mr. Bucket.
Yeah, Mr. Bucket.
The song for that fucking thing was hilarious.
Wait, Mr. Bucket?
So,
yeah, it's this bucket guy. He's got eyes and like a mouth that is open wide, and you throw balls into him. And the idea is that you have to get all the balls into him before he spits them out.
And the song went, I Mr. Bucket, pop your balls in my mouth.
Yeah, something like that.
Which is always hilarious.
Face.
It doesn't matter what age you are.
He's got like like he's trying to take it. It's great.
What?
Mr. Bucket, pop your balls in my mouth, Mr. Bucket.
Oh yeah, Mr. Bucket.
My mop down with pop.
Oh god. Oh my goodness.
And then he just finishes with buckets of fun. Brilliant. Mr. Bucket, buckets of fun. So good.
I played Hungry Hungry Hippos.
Everybody played that, right?
But that game, the home game sucked. There was an arcade game that was great.
Really?
Because, yeah, at Chuck E. Cheese they had it for me. And it was massive. It was like taller than I was and when I went to Chuck E. Cheese and I stood on a stool to play it. And it had these massive hippos. Like the home game would always break and it was stupid, but the ones at the arcade was awesome. It's huge.
I don't
Maybe
think
it was
I
just
ever went to Chuck E. Cheese.
Really?
Yeah.
You don't have Chuck E. Cheese in Ireland, I'm assuming.
No.
I hope you don't.
It is just like a children's arcade thing.
Oh, it's
animatronics.
We kind of have like a Chuck E. Cheese kind of thing. I don't know if it's still going or not, but like it's called what's it called? The Play Barn. It's like a giant. Well, it's not so much Chuck E. Cheese as in like there's not a load of arcades, but there's loads of like jungle gyms and like,
yeah.
big
The
ball
Chuck E. Cheese
pits
has those too.
Yeah, but it's like that, but less arcade stuff. Oh, you also have laser tag, which we call what's it called Quasar, Qzar. That's what we call it here. We don't call it laser tag. Yeah, it's very weird. It's like brand name.
The laser tag close to here is called Laser Storm, I think.
Nice.
Laser tag is awesome.
It is.
The one here sucks because it's a small town and all it's like one room divided by a net.
Oh.
So it's not like a big area with places to hide and stuff. No, it's one room. Like, all right, if you with like little cardboard things covering you. So, and then if you get hit, you just run to the back of the room and recharge your thing, and you're back into it. It's, it's silly.
Have you guys
too small.
ever gone paintball? Because
I haven't. I've always wanted to, because
Yeah.
that's the one thing about laser tag is that you get hit and you don't care because it doesn't hurt.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you run out there like an idiot, you're gonna get shot. You're like, oh, big deal, I'll just recharge. Paintball,
yeah,
you don't want to get hit
no, definitely.
because that hurts.
I've seen people.
I've been hit by a paintball before.
Wait, how did you get hit by a paintball?
Well,
if
I
you never
mean,
went paintball?
it was a small town, so we were bored and we had a paintball gun.
Oh, obviously. Yeah.
I've never
Let's
gone
shoot each other
paintballing.
to relieve the boredom.
Boy.
It was kind of just an experiment. Like, how bad does this actually hurt?
Yeah, exactly.
Sure enough.
Boys in a nutshell. Let's see how fucking hard we can hit each other, or how much we can hurt each other before one of us has to go to the hospital.
Right.
Come on.
I mean, yes.
Come on, guys.
I mean, that's what boys did for fun.
Yeah, shopping
stupid.
trolleys and boys were always a bad mix. I'll give you that. Just,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't get
And
it.
hills.
I don't
And
get
hills,
it.
yeah. Gravity, basically.
Anything that you can, we could take this and roll it down this.
Yeah.
Once that sentence comes out, one of us is in the emergency
It's
room.
just like,
It's only a matter of time.
I'm just imagining like a scenario where there's like a bunch of boys together and they're all, this is not meant to be offensive at all, but like they're all sitting or something and then like suddenly they get bored and it's just like they could be talking about like, I don't know, like metaphysics or something or like philosophy.
Yes.
And then all of a sudden if they get bored, it's like, oh my God, you know what we should do? Like, do you want to put a mattress on top of a car and just drive really fast and see if we can skateboard on land? That would be so much fun, right?
I mean, it sounds all right.
And the thing is, like, guys, well, especially guys, well, I'm not, people I know anyways, when they get in groups like that, they're still like that. Because it starts off with, like, your kids are bored, what do you want to do? Let's play a prank, let's knock on people's doors and run away. Yeah, cool, that's hilarious when you're, like, 7. And then when you're, like, 14, it starts upgrading to more, like, dangerous stuff. And then, like, even, I know some people who still act that way at, like, my age is in 20. And, like, this time they're extremely mobile because they have a car. So, like, they would just, they will roll down windows and yell shit out at you.
The older you get, the more access to things you have, which obviously means the more dangerous things get.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. Did you guys ever play Crossfire, the board game?
No.
It is the most, I don't think anyone has ever played this game. I'm not sure it actually exists, but the commercial for it was so freaking epic. It has such a cool, like, heavy metal song. It's like, yeah, you want to play Crossfire, and these 2 kids. It's this game where you shoot marbles at each other or something.
Just skateboarding into the room.
There's like this weird
Crossfire?
spinny ball in the middle of the thing, and it's like an ice hockey thing.
Yeah.
And you shoot marbles at it to try to get the little spinny ball in the middle to the other side. That's
All right.
basically the whole game. But
That
the
sounds really
freaking commercial,
familiar.
the commercial for it was so it's probably on YouTube. It is so freaking insane. And I remember I wanted it so bad, but I've never played it. No one's ever played it. I don't think it exists. It can't. All I remember is everyone being like, yeah, Crossfire is freaking awesome. Have you ever played it? Well, no. But commercials, pretty awesome.
It's pretty cool.
It's silly. So board games and hurting each other.
And
Yes.
board games.
Bored games, is that what you're getting? Yeah,
Yeah,
board
that
games
was
and
the
board
joke.
games.
Thank you.
Boom!
Yeah, in case you are giving out, like, here, you're not talking about games at all. There hasn't been a lot of news. Everything's kind of dormant once again, I think. It's
Yeah.
kind of, things are starting to lay low a bit.
I mean, who cares?
Exactly. If you made it this far and you're still listening, kudos to you.
We talked about 2 new releases pretty recently, so
Yeah. That's about it.
I'll be
you know?
talking about Bayonetta at some point. Bayonetta 2,
You know
I might
what
play that. So.
Should be talking about?
What's that?
Oh my gosh, no. I told you. We're doing the flash. I hate you. Anyway, sorry.
They don't care.
Anyway, yeah, we should talk about
What did I
Halloween.
do? You giving out to me, Elle? I
No,
didn't do
I was
anything.
talking to my
No, I was
roommates
joking, I
that
knew.
are talking.
Have you been playing anything else, Elle, before?
What?
Have you
been
been playing
anything else?
Oh, have I?
You've got 5 seconds.
Yes, then. I have.
You have 5 seconds to say what it is.
Quick.
Oh, no, I haven't played it yet, but I'm going to play it, on Friday.
That doesn't count.
Go.
What is it?
Outlast.
Oh.
Okay, why on Friday? That's weird.
Spooky.
Oh, okay, so
But for this Friday's not even Halloween. Next Friday would make sense.
Pre-spooky.
I'm going
Preemptive
to
spook.
go. that was adorable.
Def Con spooky. Oh, Jesus.
Yeah. Yes, they asked me if he dared me actually to play Outlast in like total darkness with like nobody in the room except me, and I was like, why?
Oculus?
And he was like, yes.
Doesn't it have Oculus Rift support?
Huh?
It has Oculus Rift support, right?
Oh God, don't tell him that. But he wants me to play it in the dark, and then he's gonna put like an infrared camera on me, and then he's gonna make me upload it to my channel. I was like, okay.
That is so cool.
Sounds alright.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna probably.
But you should
try.
upload it on Halloween, though.
Well, yeah, it's gonna be like a Halloween episode kind of thing.
Oh, sweet. You should tell Yassi to get you should get Alien Isolation to rent, maybe, because I know you can play it out with the Oculus, so, you know.
Well, he can't rent... that the PC version has Oculus Rift support, and you can't rent that.
Oh, you can't... What? You can't rent a PC game?
You haven't been able to... I still don't think
Can you
I've
rent,
ever
like,
seen
you can, like, Redbox
in my entire life...
games, but not PC.
Not PC games.
That's
I
weird.
don't think I've ever seen a rental PC game in my entire life.
One of my local places does renting. That's
Absolutely insane
It's
to
like
me.
Blockbuster
It's just-
age.
weird. Yeah.
I mean, Blockbuster, you can never rent. PC games required serial codes in like the mid-90s.
Oh yeah, you're right.
As soon as that happened,
It's
you
like
can't rent
PC.
those anymore.
But Blockbuster
I'm
was
not
a
too
long
sure.
time ago. Admittedly.
Nuts. Absolutely crazy.
Yeah.
I can't accept this as
Yeah.
a reality. That and Crossfire, they don't exist. So is that it, Elle?
Yeah.
Nathan,
Hey. What's up?
Hi, Nathan.
what you been doing? Do you actually want to talk about Bayonetta? You kind of touched on it last week.
Yeah, sure.
Right.
Okay, so I decided to like take a break from playing Dragon Age Origins because I've been playing a lot of Dragon Age Origins. And it was just
Actually, do you want me to tell you about Keep before we move on? So I could tell you about what Dragon Age Keep is, even though I'm not supposed to.
Sure if you want to.
It's not that, like, it won't even take long.
Okay,
It's,
sure, fire away. Why not?
So it's a little
Exclusive
flash
scoop.
movie narrated by Varric from Dragon Age 2.
Oh, yeah, I
Right.
heard about this.
And it goes through the main plot of Dragon Age 1 and 2, and every time it gets to a major choice, a little thing pops up and says, hey, do you want to edit this choice?
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
And you do that, and then after the two movies, it does one for Dragon Age 1 and for Dragon Age 2. It does that, and then there's this humongous save editor, basically, that you
Right.
can change every decision, just about every decision that there is. What companions are alive, what companions are romanced, did you save this guy, is this guy alive, so on and so forth. You can change just about everything you want.
Wow.
And that will then import into Dragon Age Inquisition, because Dragon Age Inquisition will not accept save imports.
Right, yeah.
Oh, weird.
So you have to do this if you want your game to be the continuation of your world.
And apparently it's like 3 hours long or something.
The movie?
Yeah, that's what I heard.
No.
What?
It's like 20 minutes.
Oh.
3 hours.
3 hours is a real long time. That's just, no.
Wait.
If it was 3 hours long, I would not tell you about the rest of it because I would not have sat there for 3 straight hours watching a Flash movie.
Yeah. that
So-
would've been impossible. But yeah, I heard about
Since-
this.
since you
But
can
I
make
can't believe
like
they're not going to import saves.
yeah, that's weird.
I mean, it's hard work, I guess. And
Mass
not to
Effect
mention,
did it.
Dragon Age 1
I
was
suppose
a
it
long
is
time ago.
cross-platform. I guess that's probably it
And cross-platform. And yeah, so... Oh, yeah, that's a good point.
because it's PS3
Because if
saves
you
to
have
PS4
PS3 and Xbox 360 versions of Dragon Age 1
Yeah.
and 2, you can't import, yes.
Ooh, that's
But surely
very
there should
cool.
kind of be like, you can do it for PS3 though, because but
Or
then
PC.
people, I guess,
Okay,
on
then I would
PC.
appreciate that, I guess.
But then people
PC
would
would
kick up
make
a
sense.
storm, I guess. What can't you do for PS4 and Xbox One?
In
'Cause we
fact,
can't.
actually, when I logged into my Origin account, I don't know how, but a bunch of my Dragon Age 2 stuff got imported into this thing. I don't know how, because I haven't played Dragon Age 2 in a very long time. It is definitely not on this system. I didn't play it on Origin. I played it on Steam. So I'm not entirely sure how and I wish Dragon Age 1 stuff imported because that's what I really care about.
Mm-hmm.
It's really interesting because when the Dragon Age 1 movie was playing, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember, yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah.
Dragon Age 2 started up, don't care. I don't even remember.
You
I don't
really
remember
don't
the
like Dragon
choices
Age
that I
2.
made. It's like, oh, was this chick alive at the end of this part? I don't freaking remember. Who's that? I don't know who that is.
I would hope they would have little things like that because then it would be like, oh, did you kill that one lady? And you're like, oh, they're gonna mention it once in the next game. Yeah,
they do
you're
have
right.
they do have that stuff. I just don't remember anything from Dragon Age 2. I really don't.
Oh.
Okay, 2 questions.
Yes.
First one is, since you said you can kind of affect the decisions and stuff, you cannot create a character whatsoever at all.
Well,
Or
okay, so that's another thing that imported from my Dragon Age 2 is that my lady named Randra
Very
got
nice.
imported.
Right.
But I don't understand why, because the only thing that matters is your class and the decisions you made, all of which you can edit. You
Right.
can change, like your name doesn't matter. So in Dragon Age 1, you could be like, all right, here's a list of characters. Were you a female mage? Okay. Were you an elf rogue? Like that kind of thing.
Yeah.
You can choose. So while you can't edit them, you can't edit their name or their appearance or anything. You can edit their class and stuff like that. So, and that's the stuff that matters. That's the stuff that's
I was
going to
say, it's not too bad. But okay, so is Inquisition a continuation of 2?
I have no idea.
Because I was going to say, if you can customize the character from 2, and then you're importing his decisions or her decisions, surely you should be able to import what they look like, because otherwise, what's the point?
Well, no. Okay, so from what I know is that Hawk, which is the main character from 2, will not be in Dragon Age Inquisition. Especially with the way
What a terrible name.
Yeah, it is. Hawk with an E.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
Is it Ethan Hawke? Jesus.
Yes.
Christ.
He just plays Ethan Hawke.
Oh, goodness.
So I don't. They, especially with the way these movies are worded, they speak as the main character. They speak in regards to the main characters as if he's a legend or a myth. Like the Warden from Dragon Age 1, or Hawk, the myth, the legend of Hawk. And not to mention, I think Dragon Age 2 was concurrent with Dragon Age 1 for the most part.
Yeah,
I think it ends slightly after Dragon Age 1, but it's basically a side story, which kind of makes me hate Dragon Age 2 even more.
As if that's possible.
I also just like the fact that in Dragon Age, this is sarcastic, I don't actually like it, I think it's really weird, but in Dragon Age 2, like,
Can't wait to
they
play
have
it.
that, it's like in Mass Effect, they have that weird, like, dichotomy where, like, you have a first name, but nobody calls you by it, they all just call you by your last
stupid.
name, so it doesn't matter what your first name is, so your first name could be, like, like, Poplopovich or something, but as long as you have the cool last name of Hawk, even like your lover will just call you by your last name, and I'm like, really? Like, you're not gonna maybe ask does anybody even know my first name? Like, and then and like in Mass Effect it's kind of okay because it's like, oh well, you're the captain, like whatever, it's your captainship or Commander Shepard, like, ooh, that's pretty intense. But in Dragon Age, you have siblings who also have the last name Hawk, but they get called by their first name. So it's like, what?
Well, they get around it fairly well. They just never call you by your first name, which is kind of, I guess, makes sense because,
yeah, but that's dumb, is what Elle's saying. Like, what sibling calls their brother by their last name?
Yeah,
did they actually
have
call
the same last
by
name?
the last name?
No, they
Because
just
I'm
call
playing
them like brother and sister. They don't say Hawk.
Oh, you know what? I don't know. Because Dragon Age 2
but I mean,
doesn't
for everyone
matter to
else,
me.
like, why doesn't he, like, what if you were like, my name is Hawk? Like,
I don't know, some people go by their surnames.
but then it's like, this is my sister Bethany, don't call her Hawk, and this is my brother Carver, don't call him Hawk either. And it's like,
No
but
last
they're
name
all
given.
Hawk.
They're both
this
called
is my mom,
Hawk.
Leandra, don't call her Hawk either.
I'm disappointed that you remember all of those names.
I remember every character in that name. Even I remember their dad, even, I think.
Did they have a dad?
Yeah, their cool,
I mean, obviously they
awesome
did at some
dad
point.
who was like a total troll.
Because when a daddy hawk loves a mommy hawk.
I love their dad.
Baby Hawks.
He was like the best
I
character.
don't
'cause
remember.
He was
I don't remember the dad.
He was such a dork. Like, he would always fuck with them and be like, you gotta say Shazam when you cast fire magic. And they're like, what? And he's like, that's
What?
the only way it works.
I don't remember.
He's in the
that at
background
all.
like, fucking idiots.
It bothers me in House because everyone calls each other by their last name, even though these are adult human beings that know each other, and in some cases, known each other for a real long time and are friends. Like
Yeah.
Wilson and House are friends, but they call each other by Wilson and House.
Yeah.
That's a weird thing.
Yeah, but they work together, so it's kind of like
So
that.
what?
They're in a work environment. So
They don't
like,
say Dr. House or Dr. Wilson. They when they walk into a room and there's a patient, they say, "Hey, Wilson." They say, "Hey, House." They don't say doctor in front of it. So they're actually just calling each other by their last names.
Yeah.
I guess those are kind of names that you can get away with it, whereas like Wilson is like a fine name.
Yeah, it's not like Astanowicz or something like that. You
Yeah,
can't
like
just-
Jesus, a mouthful.
It's, I think, so if you get like just so attached to a name, like it probably. But if you have a cool last name like Shepherd or Hawk or House,
Shepherd.
like, well, House isn't that cool. But I guess if you say it enough, it becomes kind of like phonetic. But
I guess that's another thing about House is that everyone has a 2 to 3 syllable last name where they can get away with it.
But like I don't know. Well, Nathan's okay, but like I don't know. You and I have pretty dumb last names. If we were to call
God,
each
my
other
name.
by our first name, like, "Hey, Fluhardy," like.
See, people did that to me
where's my
in middle
math
school.
homework? Slap.
People tried to do that to me in middle school. It failed miserably.
Yeah, it's
Everyone's
like-
like, "No, just stop. That's dumb."
Well, mine just sounds
I-
dumb.
not-
It's
not
like,
even
"Hey,
me."
Noonan, where's your?" And I'm like, "Hi."
Noonan.
Dumb.
That's,
Yeah.
Like, how
So
do you
Dragon
even
Age.
pronounce it? How do you even pronounce Noonan? I don't even know, and it's my name.
There you go.
I don't know if it's Noonan or like Noonan. Like, I
Noonan.
never
We used
thought
to
about it
think-
until yesterday was meeting my
There you
family, and he was like, "How do I say your last name?" And I was like, "I don't even know, honestly."
I've heard my name. People say Flaherty, which kind of makes sense because that's also a last name. It's actually
kinda
more
cute.
common than Fluharty. But
Flaherty. That's cute.
I've heard like Fluarte, which does. I don't even. You're struggling at that point.
Fluarte.
Just look at the word. I tell people just pronounce it the way it looks, and they do it. I'm like, well done. That is my last name. There's nothing fancy about this.
How do people from Boston pronounce your second name?
I don't know. I've never heard anyone.
I need to hear this. Fluhardy.
Fluharty.
Hey, it's my boy Randy Fluhardy.
Randy Fluhardy.
God, it's such a bad name. That's such a bad name.
You should change
My
it.
name
You
sucks.
should change it to like Dick Steele.
Oh, yes.
Isn't that a porn? No, Lex Steele.
Jesus. Handsome, be wonderful. There you go.
Lex is not a bad first name, I guess.
Hercules
Except I just think of
Rockefeller.
it as a nickname for Lexi or Alexis or something. Most
Randy.
girls I know are named Lex.
Hardcastle. There was a wrestler named Hardcastle Sexton for a while. It was
Oh
cool.
my
Whoa.
goodness.
It's like Tommy
Yes.
Salami.
It's like a move.
The
In the Hardcastle Sexton.
He's putting him into the Hardcastle Sexton. He has to tap out.
Okay, very off topic here, but like, so if anyone's been on the internet lately, especially Facebook, you've just seen this like influx of RKO out of nowhere, which is like,
Oh God, it's so great.
it is so just,
Fantastic.
it's just perfect. Like you don't even have to watch wrestling. You don't even have to understand wrestling to understand like what is just so funny about these videos. They're just the perfect kind of like remix of like classic videos of people falling down, and it's just absolutely brilliant. I think
Yeah.
like it's the best thing to come out.
I mean
since-
that, and it's making fun of that finisher because every time he does it, the commentators are like, "Oh, from out of nowhere!"
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
that's
yeah.
why it's so funny because it's like, "Oh, somehow Randy Orton got here
Yeah.
and did an RKO to this guy that's fallen over." Is brilliant.
I love when you can see Randy Orton like running up.
Yeah, just slithering. He's like, "Oh, there's the Viper. He's slithering. Oh,
Yeah,
there it
yeah,
is."
I just remember one where you could just see him in the distance running towards the camera, and like he's getting bigger and bigger, and it's like, oh my god, it's Randy Orton. It's RKO.
I don't know if they did this on purpose, but Monday Night Raw on this past Monday, they did he tried to do an RKO and failed, and then did it again afterwards, and the commentator said from out of nowhere, but it clearly was not from out of nowhere because he tried to do it the first time.
Yeah.
You know,
He mucked it
so
up.
I don't know if they're getting wise. I hate it when wrestling gets wise to something.
Gets
Because then they
wise
try
to
to-
something?
Yeah, because then they ruin the fun. As soon as if wrestling realizes that this is picking up, they're going to try to poke fun at it and they're going to ruin it. They're going to be like, okay, this Randy Orton thing's taken off. How can we put this into the show?
Yeah.
And since the writers, or should I say Vince McMahon specifically, is the least funny guy of all time, he's going to
Wow.
find a way to ruin it.
Ever. In
It's bad.
history.
It's bad.
It's pretty intense.
Have you seen that gif of Vince McMahon where he's like, He's at like a desk or something like that. And he's obviously looking at something else, but someone's cut it up so it's this huge, muscly guy walking out on stage. And
well,
Vince
it's because and he's like doing this orgasm face. Yeah. It's because he's notoriously known for liking big, strong, muscular men.
Yeah, he loves huge guys that are just like animals, basically, absolute tanks of muscle.
I mean, you look at John Cena. Yeah. He's huge. Look at Brock Lesnar. Look at Batista. Look at all these guys that The Rock nowadays is freaking bigger than his leg is as big as I am. He's huge.
And like it wasn't like he was always small either. Like if you've ever seen a picture of him when he was young, he was 6'4",
and he was lean
before.
Before. Now he's just freaking monstrous.
Whoa, good.
He was Hercules, for God's sake.
Yeah. It's very
I haven't seen that movie.
I haven't seen it either.
It's probably bad.
Yeah, probably. He was a tooth fairy too.
Yeah,
it's
true.
Muscular tooth fairy.
All right, Bayonetta.
Yes. Okay. So, anyways, I took a break from playing Dragon Age Origins, because I was kind of like, I played so much of it that I was kind of like, I kind of need a break. I want to play something dumb. Well, not dumb. I want to play something where I don't have to think. So,
it is dumb.
It is, it is
it's
dumb.
Pretty dumb.
But like, it's not like stupid, as in like, this game is fucking
No, it's dumb enough. It's fun dumb.
Yeah. It's like, it's a crazy, silly game. It's silly. There you go. That's the word I was looking for. After reading all the Bayonetta 2 reviews, I was kind of like, I haven't played Bayonetta 1 in so long. And I don't think I finished it the last time. So I popped into Sucker and, played the whole thing in I actually completed it just last night. I put it in on Thursday and finished it.
It's relatively short, right?
Last night, yeah. It's
6 to 8 hours.
No, I put in a lot more hours.
Really?
Yeah, I put in maybe, I want to say 16 or something like that.
Holy crap. How does that sustain itself for so long without burning you out?
I don't know.
Is it just so
really
crazy
know.
for so long?
Okay, so you haven't played one.
I have not played I will.
Okay. I won't spoil it. Actually, you know what? Okay, first of all, I'm going to come clean. The story in this is very, very... Remember I said before it was really like anime?
Yes.
It's so super ridiculous anime. It's just like... Holy
Elle's in.
Jesus. Elle, have you played Bayonetta? I'm pretty sure you have.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. You know what I'm talking about. The story is just like, what is going on?
It's super anime. Yeah.
Yeah, there. Because I felt bad saying it last week.
I was like, this is pretty.
This might be a little. This might be a little too anime.
Yeah, because I was thinking to myself, this is just Jesus Christ. What am I fucking playing? Like, this is the kind of game where I would gladly switch to a porno.
Yeah, me too.
And be like, this is easier to explain than what I was doing before.
Yeah. I mean, I thoroughly enjoyed like the whole, just the aesthetics of how the fighting worked. I was like, oh, this is awesome. Like, I'm just fucking a porn star that is also like in control all the time. Like, that's
Wait,
awesome.
Is she actually a porn star?
No. I mean,
okay.
I like
she's
Bayonetta
really,
mostly because like she's like super, super, super sexy, and also like, doing dumb fetish shit and like showing off all of her body and stuff, but she's never like in a position where she's like, oh no, I'm being victimized. Like, she's always in control of the situation. So it's like, man, fucking Bayonetta just knows what's up. Like,
I'm surprised there wasn't more feminist backlash from this game. There's been some, but not nearly as much as I thought there was going to be.
With regards to 1 or 2?
I don't know. What's
both, really, but 2 especially, since the feminism stuff in games has taken off since the first game.
Okay, I'm going to play devil's advocate here. But, like, when I play...
I don't agree with it, but...
Okay, so when I was playing Bayonetta, I never once kind of thought, like, oh, she's just, we're showing her boobs or anything like that. I never thought, like, bad about the character because she was doing all these crazy moves. It was really cool to see, like, this kind of crazy, sexed up character, but I never thought of her as, like, a sex symbol. I just thought of, like, her, I actually thought of her, like, as an action hero where she was doing all this crazy sex moves, basically, where she was doing stuff that, like, strippers would do, like, that kind of, dance move kind of thing. Like, one move basically is like, you grab like an angel's weapon, you jam it into the ground, and you do like a stripper pole dance around it, and you're just like tearing ass up, like you're killing everyone within the radius. And I was just like, it's really cool because it's very clever, it's very inventive, all these ridiculous ways you can, have a combo and somehow tie it into some very fetishized, sexy move. But I never once thought, this is bad for women, because it's like when I was playing the game, I kept thinking to myself, this is very much like any other kind of action game I played where the main character is like a male and he's all like, he's really macho and he's doing all these just DMC is one example. Randy's boner just hits a hard 13 right there.
There you go.
Yeah!
Elle knows what I'm talking about.
But I kind of, I know these are complete parallels, but I kind of still got I kind of just felt like this is kind of like Nathan Drake, but just to a certain degree where...
Or Dante, I think that was a better comparison.
But I play more of Uncharted, where it was kind of like, Uncharted does the same kind of thing, but it's very subtle about it, where it's kind of like, he's very suave, sophisticated, he's charming, he's that kind of male, stereotype, but then you have this other, absolute polar opposite, who is just so extreme, and I was just like, it's actually really refreshing to see someone that's this crazy and sexualized, but is never a victim of she's sexy, she does all these moves, and there's one guy in it that she's constantly kicking his ass because just because she can, because she's a witch, and she's like, oh fuck it, whatever, this guy's following me around, I'm gonna piss him off.
I saw a tweet from Anita Sarkeesian, who has been in the news lately.
Mm-hmm. Very much so.
About how she was disappointed that more reviewers haven't pointed out how this is bad for women. And she said she's going to do a video on it. I'm curious to see what she says, because your argument, what you said, has been the argument of everyone, is that, oh yeah, she's sexualized, but hey, women can be sexy. It can happen.
Yeah.
Yeah. But it's never a negative sense. She's not sexualized for a bad reason.
She's never being
she's just sexy and
sexualized
proud
by
of it.
someone else. She's the way I saw it was that people are like, oh well, why is she doing that? Why does she need to do that? And I was like, well, I mean, if you think about it, every person she attacks is not interested in. She's attacking angels. They're all basically platonically and asexual. So it's this is just how she does things. She doesn't really have a love interest. She's not oh yeah, I'm trying to get my man. She's just I just happen to be spinning around on a pole. It's the best way to trajectorize me cutting your head off. And the angels are like, what? Ow, oh god, ow, okay.
But if it was really cookie cutter kind of combo system where it's just punch, punch, kick, that would be it wouldn't be as fun.
Yeah.
I think the craziness and, over sexualized part of the combo is what makes it fun. Because you're like, oh Jesus, what are they going to do next? And you never look at it and go, oh man, it's so hot, oh Jesus,
Maybe
it's never like that. It's just holy shit, this is fucking crazy. That's the reaction I get.
I want to raise a general question.
Yes.
Can the objectification of anything, but especially women, does that ever have a place? Do you think that's okay? Because with the rise of the feminism stuff that's been happening, especially recently, but over the past couple of years, it seems like whenever a woman is sexualized in any way, it is always oh, well, what are you doing? Women can't be sexual. But why not? Yeah. Why can't women ever be sexual?
I don't think she was being objectified in that game,
Yeah, but I'm objectified or sexual in any way.
Well,
I mean, is there ever a place for objectification?
I don't think there's a place for being objectified, but I think there's more than one place for being sexual. You can be sexual in any game you want.
Yeah.
So, but do you think storylines can have strippers, for example?
Yeah, absolutely.
Even though that's technically objectifying.
Wait, why?
That is it. But a stripper, by definition, is objectifying.
Can't be a character in something?
No. Well, I mean, can a scene take place in a strip club?
Yeah,
without the stripper's involvement?
Very compelling.
Wait, what? A stripper takes place in a strip nightclub, but no strippers? Is that what you're saying?
No. Okay, but the scene is taking place in a strip club, but it's between two mob bosses, and there are strippers in the background.
Yeah, that happens.
The strippers right. But that's objectifying women as well.
But, but that's different then. That's kind of background stuff. Yeah.
But you think there is a place for that? Because a lot of feminists would argue that there's not.
There's no place for a strip club in any movie?
Well, no. It's just that there's no... Anita Sarkeesian especially did a thing where she was like, there shouldn't be background... Women should not be background objects. But I don't know. I'm not sure how I
But
feel
then,
about
but
it.
then you also,
Object,
you also argue like, well, does that mean if you can't use women? As I'm not saying you should always use women, by the way. I'm just saying if you can't use women, then what do you use? You know, it's like if you're going to have a scene take place in a strip club and then not have a stripper in the background, like, well, what do you have? You know?
Yeah, and the male characters, you know, they can be depicted as sleazy, and they would conduct business in a strip club because that's what they're gross. They're gross men that want to look at women. They want these characters are objectifying the women, not necessarily the scene. I'm not saying that every scene is perfect and doesn't objectify women because it definitely does, but I don't know. It just seems like
it's a tricky subject. I think
it just seems like everything is being attacked now. Anytime they ever have sexual. Yeah, go ahead.
I think there's a difference between like, I think that the example that you gave is like a very like, if somebody were to like come up to me and say like, oh yeah, like give their opinion on like, yeah, like women in the background of movies, like it's disgusting. I might like side eye them a little bit, like, are you serious? Like, what are you talking about? But like, I think there's a difference between that and like, you know, like a shitty rap video with like just butts with no faces, like just disembodied asses jiggling, and it's kind of like, okay, that's kind of objectifying, like, because you know,
especially since it's clearly empowering the rapper or whatever, right?
Yeah,
because
and
he's
it's
always
like, you don't
surrounded
even
by
see the
these
girls'
millions of
faces.
chicks.
They're not even really part of it. It's just ass. Like it could be just a giant disembodied floating ass, and it's kind of like, well, that's different. But I mean, that's, you know, I don't agree with that. I think that's objectification. But I mean, like women in the background of a movie, like that's just. Why is that a problem?
I think it just depends on the example, but also it just seems like nowadays it's a tough subject because especially with where it is now, it's very much in the limelight. It is being attacked. It is being talked about. It is hot.
But
it's really hard to introduce sexuality in games right now because right now it's under the lens. Everyone's going to be looking at it and like, is this objectification? Which sucks. I feel like at one point, yes, I feel like games are privy to this criticism. I feel like they should be criticized when they need to be. At the same time, I don't necessarily want every little aspect of every game to be criticized just because that's where we're at now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Movies take place in strip clubs all the time. Why can't a game? I don't know. It's just weird.
I just find it weird that like people are saying that like, So I think the thing that kind of kicked it off, we touched on it briefly. Last week, Randy, was we were saying Bayonetta 2 got like a 7.5 from Polygon because they complained that the character was over-sexualized.
Yes.
And that kind of annoyed me to the point where it was just like I didn't personally understand it. This is the point where taste came in. Where the point, because like when we started talking about like what does a reviewer do? They kind of do personal. And then kind of do like, well, you might like this if you like this. I'd like this kind of game, blah, blah, blah. But this was a very personal thing I felt where it was just like he felt they were too sexualized. Bayonetta was too sexualized. And I just kind of thought, well, that is the complete point of the character. She is meant to be 100% over the top sexualized because it's just because same reason why Dante is like he runs around naked, eats pizza all the time. Like same reason, just, you know, for the sake of it, why not?
This is Polygon, right?
Yeah, Polygon.
Yeah. So I guess this wouldn't bother me as much if that's what Polygon was about, and it would be, like I said, criticizing games for this sort of thing rather than buyer advice, which is what most reviews, if not all reviews for games are, which is this game any good to play? Is this a game that you should spend money on?
Which is what most people want. They want to know, should I get this or not? You know,
right? And if Polygon came up and said, like, we're looking at games in a different light now, fine. But that's not what Polygon is. Polygon is a game review site where it reviews games the way other people review games. They review games on their graphics, their gameplay, their glitches, their so on and so forth. To put that into the metric of the scoring system, I think changes the tone of the site. It changes the image, it changes the direction, because at that point you're not critiquing the quality of the game. You're critiquing, like you said, personal taste, and you're not going to like this if you're offended by women's sexuality. Well, I mean, people should be educated enough to know that this game is about women's sexuality. That's not what they're going to this review for. They're going to to the review to see how's the frame rate. You know, like
Yeah. But
I don't. Yeah, they should probably keep them.
Yeah.
Maybe mention it, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
I don't think that, you know, again, it's a very, because there's a lot of personal dipping into the kind of the general, like, how's the graphics, how's the gameplay, how's the story, that kind of thing. And maybe it's kind of like, I didn't like the story too much because it's too sexualized. It's kind of like saying, like, I don't really like Mario's story in the next Mario game because all he does is chase princesses. That's kind of like a personal thing to me.
Yeah.
That's how I see it anyways. Probably someone else's maybe might see it differently, but I kind of think like it's too, like, he's kind of saying like, you know, I didn't really like this because, you know, it's too much of this, too much boob, too much ass, whatever.
Yeah. And I think there is a place for it. I just don't think Polygon is there.
That's a kind of an opinion.
It's just weird.
I think.
Yeah, I mean that is something you write a critical essay on, not a review for.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's when you go and look at literary analysis, you're seeing all these people critiquing not necessarily the quality, but themes in the stuff, and that's what you could do for games. But they're not all at the same time. Those literary essays are not saying, "Hey, don't go out and buy this because it's the frame rate's bad."
Yeah, but
it pisses me off because like so many, you know, like bulk of the people who complain about Bayonetta are just complaining about like the fact that she's over sexualized and whatever, and like, oh, this is so like anti-feminist and like this is such a step backwards, like. But it's like most of the people who say that did not even play the game. They just like
I was just gonna say.
And I'm like, if you played the game, you would know this is like. And I mean, I don't like from somebody's perspective who played it like maybe once or twice. Like this is probably more empowering than most, you know, games with female characters. Like Bayonetta.
Well, you took the words right out of my mouth.
It's
even more empowering than it's more empowering than fucking Tomb Raider. Like
because she's a strong female character who she never gets touched. Well, she never gets like sexualized, as in she's never the victim of sex or anything like that. Which a lot of games.
Ass.
Yeah, she's just the queen of this game, Queen Bee. There you go, Queen Bayonetta. Just kicking ass, and it is so much fun, and it's brilliant, and there's no kind of, like, I guess, it's really over-sexualized, but it's very, like, powering, I guess, where she's just, like...
she's over-sexualized on her own terms, because she's not sexy.
Yeah.
As I said, she's not sexy for any of the characters that she meets. Like, you know, the people she's fighting, they're all angels. They have no sex drive. They don't care what she's doing. She's doing it because she's like, this is my favorite thing. It looks fucking awesome.
Yeah.
Wow.
They're basically stone statues coming at her, and she is just, like, doing spinning kicks, shooting at them with, like, heel guns, and you're like, this is amazing.
It's kind of the equivalent. It's kind of the equivalent of the male power fantasy. Like, the male protagonists are usually handsome, square-jawed guys with super skills and weapons, and gets chicks and stuff. And this is, I guess, the female equivalent. Like when females envision their ideal self, they envision, you know, super butt kicking, but also sexy and intelligent. You know, like, so this is kind of the equivalent to that.
Yeah, and her hair turns into a giant like dragon wolf, which
is
awesome.
Best.
Which is every
so
women's fantasy ever, right?
Oh yeah,
they want their hair to turn into.
It's definitely mine.
Yeah,
that is always the coolest moment. Right, so like it's just like when you're in the boss battle and you're finishing up. She always does this thing where she just like yells out and then puts her hands in the air, and then her hair starts spinning around her. So she basically just like turns naked, but you can't see anything because like her hair is spinning around her. But then her hair just goes into the air. It's a huge amount of hair, by the way, and then just goes into a portal and then comes out the other end of the stage. And it's a giant, like, dragon or centipede or
like a
crow.
werewolf or something. It's like, what the
made
fuck
of
is
hair.
that?
And then just starts getting the boss and just starts chomping on it. And you're just like, what is going on? This is so good. But,
it's so good.
Like, again, this is Platinum. And Platinum are known for crazy. So it makes sense that their characters are, like, this over the top.
Yeah.
You know, it's, I feel like there's an argument here to be made. Maybe if this was a game that you wouldn't expect it from, like, if this was a game like, I don't know, something, maybe like Telltale or something like that, something kind of based, like, on some form of reality.
Grounded.
Yeah. This is, I'd understand people.
The Last of Us.
Yeah. That would be a bit of a, Jesus Christ. Could you imagine that in The Last of Us? Holy crap. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
That would be insane. That'd be a great crossover. Oh yeah, fun fact, the guy who voices Lee from The Walking Dead is in Bayonetta.
No kidding.
Yeah, what's the guy's name?
Is he the
Rodin?
black guy?
Yeah.
I have no idea. The guy that goes, yeah.
There's like one
Yeah.
other human character besides the one guy who's played by Yuri Lowenthal, I think. So yeah, it's probably him.
There's a bunch. They got this guy, Luca.
Yeah, that's Yuri
with the long
Lowenthal,
scarf.
I think. I think it's
And then
Yuri.
the other guy. What's his name? The Danny DeVito guy.
Oh, that
Or
guy.
yeah.
And then there's
That's so
Cerise, I think.
Yeah. Oh,
Who's probably not
Jesus.
played by Lee.
Who's so annoying, by the way. Oh yeah, and there's like a little girl in it who just yells, "Mommy, mommy!" all the time. You're like, oh god.
And she's like, "Oh, it's Cerise! Fuck!" Like,
Well,
are you still there?
I plan to pick up Bayonetta 2 potentially as early as next week, so we will.
Yay.
I mean, I will not have access to it by the time the next podcast rolls around because it doesn't come out by then. But
No.
when it comes out, I plan to play it 1 and 2 because 1 comes with it. So I will update my opinions.
Mm-hmm.
Granted, I have yet to say anything about the actual game, just but yeah. So we'll talk about it again probably. Moving on. So I've played. I will briefly mention. What is that? The Evil Within. I will mention that again. I played a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, Elle, you didn't hear my impressions from last week, did you?
I did not.
Maybe you should go back and listen.
Boom.
Well, I was gonna say I like it a little bit more, but also I like it a little bit less at the same time. I don't know.
So,
It's so the one chapter it kind of has dialed itself up. It is no longer. Well, I don't know because I haven't played as much as I'd like. But the one chapter I did was all sorts of bananas
banana.
and like really super like Silent Hill levels of crazy.
Yeah.
Oh,
In
really?
terms of
Nice.
it's no longer. Now the game is screwing with me, and that's I kind of feel like, which interests me, but the mechanics still suck. They were just it's not fun to play. That's the part that's bumming me out.
I'm so excited.
And I don't know.
I want to play it so much.
There's a scene where the game has been. I told you, Nathan, that the game is basically teaching you how to be stealthy and fighting very sparingly.
Mhm.
Well, there's a part where they just throw 8 to 12 guys at you at once that you have to fight. So I'm like, okay, well, this drastically changed, and that really, really shows just how crappy the combat is when you actually are forced to fight. I was able to pull it off, but it's kind of glitchy too. It's kind of like I was getting hit when I shouldn't. Mm-hmm. I actually, the game, the monster was trying to grab me, and I was up on a ledge and running away, and somehow I teleported back into his grasp, which was really weird, and that sucks because I don't want to get hit. But I don't know. It was crazy. It was. It's not scary.
No.
The game's not scary
So how does it Silent Hill then? What?
because it's alternate realities, alternate universe sort of thing, like Twisted Dark World.
All right. Don't just
Kind of.
Okay. Okay.
It's
okay.
not. I'm not going to get into the details, but it's
Yeah.
basically what's real, what's not. Is
Oh,
basically
okay.
what.
Okay.
So good.
And there are plenty of monsters, so Elle's going to be all over this thing.
She does love her monsters.
I do like monsters.
She does.
They're
indeed.
clearly the most interesting part.
They're my favorite thing in any game ever. That's why I like Bayonetta's hair. Turns into a fucking dragon werewolf monster. I'm like,
That was always good to see. Like, oh, what's her hair going to turn into next?
Yeah, and then it's like a fist, and you're like, whoa.
I want to go back to Bayonetta. We'll talk to Bayonetta.
The segue is looping.
Yeah, that game. I don't know. I'll play more of it. I didn't play as much as I wanted to,
Yeah.
but
I
Okay.
wanna play it.
yeah,
Is it worth the purchase? That's the question.
yeah, that's the question that I have yet to be able to answer. I kind of wish I hadn't.
Really?
But
Yeah, I was kind of thinking you would say that because
the game is not blowing me away.
Yeah, I was going to
It's
say I didn't think you were like too like, oh, this is really good. Everyone needs to play this. You're kind of like,
if this were
it's good.
if this were on sale, no question, go ahead.
Yeah.
But I bought this at full price, and I don't think it's there.
Yeah, I feel you.
I mean, I'm not saying you don't have to, or I'm not saying you can't, Elle, if you want to.
No,
Go
no,
ahead.
I was just making a noise.
Oh, Is that just something you do?
Yeah.
Oh, it's time to make my noise.
I look at my clock. Oh, it's time.
Oh, okay. It's 4:22 in the afternoon.
No, it's
Well,
not.
for me.
It's
For you, it's 1:22. I guess my watch. No, it's 4:23 now. Oh, God.
You're behind.
Also, so speaking of, I will leave this up to you whether or not I go into details about this, but I've been playing a bunch of Final Fantasy VII.
Ooh. Don't tell me too much. Wait,
why?
It's been so many years since it came out. I can't pull that card.
So you don't. All right. You don't want me to spoil Final Fantasy VII for you?
No, I mean I don't. You can't be alive without knowing like the major spoilers.
You know the big
in Final
one.
Fantasy VII.
You know the big one. I haven't got there yet. Again, so I don't know the impact of it again. All right. So every once in a while, are you guys okay with me talking about it?
Yeah.
I left it up to you.
Sure.
I mean, I haven't played it, but I believe.
Yeah, I've
Nathan-
played it.
Nathan's like,
I've never
Have
played.
you guys played any Final Fantasy? Nathan is about to say that he hasn't. I'm assuming. Elle?
Any Final Fantasy?
Yeah.
I played some of 13.
I mean,
and
both
didn't
of
like
you,
it.
both of you have played 8,
No,
and you know it extensively because there's no way.
I didn't
that you
play
could've-
8.
There's no way you could have gotten that information from it with the Steam reviews unless you have both played all the way through.
I didn't play 8 at all.
Every last detail.
No, I didn't play it. My
I
friend
played
played
the
it,
MMO,
and then he told me
and it
about the
was
hot dogs.
Bad.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Is he trying to fish me out here?
Oh, you're still hung up on that, huh?
No, what are you talking about?
No.
I don't even,
Yeah,
no.
I played the MMO, and I played some of 10, and I didn't like that either.
10's fantastic.
I didn't like any of the ones I played. I'm sorry.
So the big thing that I have about Final Fantasy VII, other than its ridiculously dated graphics, they are bad. Whatever. Is that the game has a hard time figuring out what storyline it wants to focus on, in that it starts out pretty straightforward storyline, big evil corporation, you're trying to take it down, and then goes all sorts of crazy with it. I won't go into details because Elle, you might want to play it. But it just, that's the kind of the thing that most Final Fantasies do. They start off with, you think you know where what the story is right up front, and then it's not that. And then it, spoilers, it leads to you trying to save the world. All the time. Every time.
That sounds like a lot of Japanese RPG games that I've played, though.
Or just Japanese things.
What?
The stakes are never big enough in Japanese.
Yeah.
What's
that's like
going on there?
Tales of Symphonia is exactly like that. It's
Yeah,
like,
I mean-
remember how we were about to just try and leave the town? Now we're saving the world. Now we're saving 2 worlds. Now we're saving everything. And you're like, what?
I feel like most of these things do a really good job with A, world building, and B, character and plot development. And they kind of just lose track when they're like, wait, this is a video game, we're not saving the world. I feel like at some point in development, that always happens in these Japanese things. Just, the stakes are not big enough. Like, well, the stakes are big enough. I like these characters. I want to know what happens to them, you know? I want to make sure they're okay. So I don't care about the rest of the world. The rest of the world is meaningless to me. Mm-hmm. I don't care. So why does it always have to be, there's this big thing crashing into the world and it's going to blow up? Oh, there's this big bad who's trying to take over the world. Oh, it's going to blow up. Oh, and there's this monster thing that comes by every few years. The world's going to blow up. The world's always going to blow up. I'm tired of it. And the reason I started playing it again, I got sidetracked, was that every once in a while I'll go back to a game that I really enjoyed as a child that I haven't played in a super long time. And I've been recently reading some blog impressions about Final Fantasy VII. I'm like, I'm not going to read this. I haven't played Final Fantasy VII in well over a decade, probably 12 years. So I'm going to see how I like it now that I'm older. Mm. And I do like it. I think it's got some good things about it. I think if this game came out today, there are several things in it that people would A, be offended by, and B, just straight up hate. But I mean, the black character in it is a huge stereotype. He has some depth to him, but at the same time, he says the N word and stuff. It's bad.
He does?
Nocturnal?
Yeah, he says, yes, Nocturnal. He says, yo, Nocturnal, what's up?
Whoa.
That's a great substitute.
And then there's a scene where one of the female characters says retard, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yeah, I'm not a fan of that.
What? That's so stupid. Just
it's weird.
Why? Just to be badass, I guess.
No, it was there's a scene where their characters are running up an enormous amount of stairs, and they're complaining about being tired. The big black guy especially is complaining that he's super tired, and he's like, "Don't," and she says, "Don't be a retard and just keep moving," or something like that.
I can imagine how that conversation went. Really stiltedly.
Never mind.
I mean, it's
so long
done
ago,
slightly better. It's yes, that's the thing. Is that this came? Well, I mean, there were mentally handicapped people in 1997.
That is true.
So so I've never played like a Final Fantasy game, but does it suffer from that really bad like Japanese thing where it's like, oh, I am really tired after running up all these stairs. Shut up, retard. Keep moving. Does it have that really bad pause kind of thing?
No.
Very polite thing.
I have the text turned up really fast, so it moves. Mm-hmm. I'm actually recording every minute that I am playing of this thing. I'm not talking over it, but I'm thinking about doing something with it, just because it's been so long since I revisited it. I wanted to see what my impressions are now, and I might just do like a review thing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah. I'm still enjoying it though, and that's a good thing because it's been long enough to where I'm no longer nostalgic about it. Mm-hmm. I'm actually critiquing it as I'm going along. There are straight up typos in the text, which is interesting.
Oh, of course.
But I mean, there's a lot of text, so I guess I can't necessarily blame them. And it's a translation, and and translations can sometimes be real bad. So
and Cloud is like super serial, right?
He lightens up.
Oh, good.
He starts off real super. That's actually the stereotype about Final Fantasy VII is that he's super emo the whole time.
But he's not.
Not really. He kind of gets out of it real quick.
Wait, is 7 the one where you like jump onto ladders and it's like whoo, you like fly like 80 million feet out of nowhere and it's very strange? Because I remember that happening in a Final Fantasy game where you would like get on a ladder and you would just like something would happen. I don't know, but I think it was 7.
There's weird I wouldn't even necessarily call them platforming sections, but there are weird faux obstacles that they try to put in the environment where the character has to jump over them.
And it's like,
which serves absolutely no purpose because they do it automatically and it's not challenging at all. It's just kind of annoying, especially with the field controls being what they are, which is bad.
Yeah.
In fact, they have a lot of that's another thing that drives me nuts about this game is they have a lot of really stupid, pointless mini games.
Ooh, yeah.
There's this woman or this little girl that's unconscious, and you have to give her CPR, and a little lung meter pops up on the screen and say, "All right, when the meter gets to the top of your lungs, hit the X button, but don't wait too long."
Oh my god!
All right,
it's so
kids,
stupid.
take out your CPR dummies and let's get started.
Her life
so
is
dumb.
in your hands. Hope you don't fuck it up.
You can take as long as you want, and you can screw up as many times as you want. It's just another thing that they try to add variety where it doesn't need it. I didn't need that. There's so many mini games in it that they have an amusement park in the game full of mini games. They're just like, okay, in case these people want it, here you go. Just plenty. And all the mini games, they're all just so bad. They're very, very bad.
Okay.
And
I can't even remember the last time a mini game was any good in a game.
I can't even imagine them thinking that this was good.
Yeah.
I think they have to.
Fun.
They have to be trying for these to be bad because the controls are just not great in most of them. There's a motorcycle minigame, which on paper sounds awesome. You're riding a motorcycle carrying a giant sword that's dragging behind you, and you swing this. It's like Road Rash. You're swinging the sword against other motorcycles, and the motorcycles go flying. When you hit, yes, it sounds awesome, doesn't it? It sucks.
Why is this? What's wrong with it?
Because the controls are horrible.
Oh.
It's just super sluggish and controls weird. And there's actually a stealth part in it, which isn't so bad. It's very brief.
Love me some shoehorn stealth. Can't beat it.
It's extremely brief, and it's clearly stealth done by people that are not stealth people. It is. They have these very set patterns, and you hide behind a statue, and then once they start moving, go to the next statue.
Yeah.
And then you keep doing that, and then you're like, okay, now signal for your friends to go to the statues when they're moving. But all these characters do just keep moving in ways that it's silly.
That sounds awful.
But it's not bad because you have to try real hard to do bad at it, and even if you do bad at it, they're just like, whatever, we're strong, we can just bite, we just kill them. Yeah. I'm going to keep playing it. So,
What
it's
is the story making you go
story.
back?
I mean, especially for the time, it was. I mean, those all of those Final Fantasy games for the time were a big deal because games didn't really have long epic stories like this back then. It was at least, especially not on console, but in general, there weren't that many. So for a game to span this long and have this much packed into it was kind of impressive. And I think even as it hasn't aged great, but for what it is, like I think there are things in this game that they do better than a lot of stories do nowadays.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that's Final Fantasy VII.
Woo.
All right, I don't think we have time for Steam reviews. I don't think Nathan got any ready anyway.
I didn't know if we were going to do any because
Yeah. We could talk about briefly Elle,
Yeah.
Five Nights at Freddy's 2.
Oh no! We left the doors up. Fuck. Come
So,
on.
did you see the story about like the plot of this game?
No.
It's a continuation of Five Nights at Freddy's 1. The guy was so annoyed that he had to keep risking his life, so they just promoted him to day shift.
What?
And now you're a new guy. Yeah.
Oh, that's kind of nice.
But the one weird thing about it is that the game looks exactly the same.
Wow. I don't think that game needs a sequel.
Yeah, I don't think so either. The big new thing is that there are no doors.
What?
Yeah, no doors.
That was like part. I don't understand. That was part of the gameplay.
So now when something sneaks into your room, you have to put on an animatronic mask to confuse them.
That doesn't seem necessary to me. Like,
You're right. You're right.
why don't you just make a different game?
Why don't you just make a different game?
Make a different scary game that would be fun, that we could all come to love, instead of being like, oh, remember how cool Five Nights was?
Obviously, the game's not out.
They should make it like a multiplayer aspect to it, where like two friends are
controlling
the bears or whatever, and one person has to keep an eye on
that's not a bad idea.
There's only one bear, Nathan.
Like a red light or a red light green light thing.
Gosh,
like a red light green light thing where there's one guy in the control room and then the opposite team are controlling the animatronics, but then they can't move when the camera's on them.
Unless
they only get like a certain amount of health before the camera kind of is like, oh, I got you, and now I don't know, you die, I guess. So that could be cool.
Someone could figure it out,
and then you can kind of get some teamwork going on here to really.
That's not in this game. So
I'm a better game designer.
Are all the animatronics the same?
There are new ones.
Oh, cool.
But why does that matter?
Because I liked them.
Yeah, the characters are cool.
They were characters, yeah.
But who cares? They're just, if any of them get in the room, you die. So what does it matter?
No, but you can have like favorites and least favorites.
That is not worth a new game.
Fucking Chica was my least favorite. Her, him, whatever it was.
I'm curious to see if there's anything different about
fucking duck.
Yeah.
Fuck that duck every time.
So, like, is there like a story behind the characters or what? Because or do people just make it up?
No,
I don't know.
It's very vague. It's basically just like they've been doing the same job, like singing the same stupid, like Five Nights, Freddy hanging out, we're kids. That they all like
at nighttime they're restless,
so much
right?
that night they just have to murder.
They have to blow some steam.
Like I know that much. That's very much the basics of it, where it's just like that's the Steam
premise.
info. But it's like as far as it goes, really. With
that's all you need.
I mean, that's all I needed. You know, like, and the guy that works there was just like, I'm so poor that I need to come back to this job instead of quitting after like one night of not dying by some miracle.
It's such a great premise. I just don't know why this is happening. I don't know.
Well, I mean, I think it's just because people will play it, you know.
But what? Yeah. I mean, clearly people will buy it, but once they buy it and they realize that it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Only now, instead of closing doors, you're putting on a mask.
But I mean, some people will have liked it so much that they'll be like, whatever, it's fine. I like this game so much, I'll play it again, you know.
Another thing is that your mask doesn't require power, I'm assuming, so what is the downside to wearing a mask?
Probably can't breathe in it, I guess. It's too
maybe you can't look at the but at the same time, you could just put on the mask and sit there.
It's like innovation for innovation's sake, even though it's not necessary.
I mean, you could just put the mask on, and then, in theory, the animatronics will never know that you're a human.
I don't know. Maybe they do something like it's kind of like a locker situation where like they look over to you and then they kind of if you do something where it's like, oh, make sure they don't notice you, and then
maybe the mask lights up and it will take power. I don't know.
Yeah. That'd be weird.
Yeah,
that's a bit of a stretch.
I mean, because the game is already pretty weird, but
like it works as it is. It's not.
Yeah.
There's not. Like,
that's what I'm saying. I just don't.
Anything needed to be changed about it. It was pretty tight.
What problem is this solving? And what person went like, oh, this game's great as a proof of concept, but I really want blank. No one said that.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, this is a great little contained thing. I don't know.
The only thing I thought was I wish I could turn off the fan, because that's probably sucking power.
It's hot in there.
But it's like you just see the fan and you're like, this isn't helping.
You don't know how hot it gets at Freddy's.
Somebody told me that you can turn the fan off, but I don't know if I believe it.
That's a lie.
Yeah. I was like, really? Are you sure?
It adds ambience. Ambience.
Although they also said that you can't beat like full 20s, and a few people did it. Like where you put all of the AI difficulty up to 20.
Which does what? Well,
it's like they're usually at level like 1 for the first, and then like 2 for the second night, and then they get up to like 7, I think, in the story mode.
Well, but does it make them more aggressive?
Yeah, it makes them really aggressive.
Okay.
Like, they just stand outside the door the whole time, and if you look away from the computer for half a second without the, like, camera being on, then Freddy will just, like, fly out and kill you immediately.
So the worst part about that is that it's not so bad when you're not looking at the camera and they run into the room, because then they're just coming in and be like, hey! But then when you're looking at the camera and you don't know that one got into the room with you and you're still looking around... And then you put the camera down, and then he's just like, "Wow, I'm in your face!" Like that's the worst one.
Oh no, I think Foxy is the worst one. The one where like you're looking around on the camera, and then you just see it running really fast down the hallway. Right? And you're like, no! And then you try to put down the camera in time, but it's already there, and it's like, ah! And
it's too late.
Oh god! Oh, come on!
Horrible noise they make. Ugh.
It's the same noise, right? It's like,
yeah,
like a high pitch.
Yeah, they make that little screaming sound.
Yeah, that's why that game. I don't know. Can you can't do that again? You can't. I don't think you can recapture the same magic.
I was like, there's only so many times I can pee myself, Freddy. Like, come on.
It's the same jump scare over and over and over again, and it will continue to be the same jump scare even if you pay $5 more to get the sequel.
I mean, it was effective for the game that it was.
Yes,
but I wouldn't
absolutely.
pay it. I wouldn't want to do it again. It's like it would just kind of. I don't know. I think it would be kind of like, the love is gone. Ach, ich fühl's. Das ist verschwunden, as they would say in the Magic Flute. I feel the love is gone. That's
oh, yeah.
What?
Okay.
That's impressive.
That was some opera trivia for you.
Is that your music roots? Sure.
Yes, I believe so. I think that's what. It's like you recapturing the love that was there. It's just difficult. Especially if it's like the experience was already really, really good. There was very little that anybody was like, oh, like, that would be great if that fucking thing wasn't there. It was like tight. It was good for what it was, and now it's kind of like, why do we need another one that's the same? The story is not that different. Like, it's not like there's a narrative that's going over it being like, oh shit, but actually we want to learn about how Freddy was created and the Geppetto that invented him, and it's like, no, we're just fucking Freddy's again. I don't want to get it.
All right. So, one last thing.
Yes.
Is there any games that Nathan? Technically, you won. Is there any games you want to try to predict?
Because
if not, we could try to do Sunset Overdrive or something like that.
Yeah. What was the game? I'm sure we had one to pick.
Legend of Korra, I should say, which we were.
Which
I'm pretty sure I was right
now.
I feel like we should have done that one because that would be the one I won.
Wait, what?
Legend of Korra came out. We were debating whether or not we were going to do the prediction score on that. Oh yeah, it's awful. Yeah, apparently.
It's by Platinum as well, which is.
But that's what I was saying. Like I said, I don't care who's making it. There's no way this is good. That is what I said last week.
Not even.
But
go back and listen to it.
But like, it's weird because like. Any of Platinum's games I've played or heard about, read about, whatever, they've always been like genuinely great games. Like I think maybe Vanquish. I think that's probably the lowest scoring one. That's still got an 8 And I'm here, this is like, I'm just reading here.
I'm not
GameSpot,
even saying that
get
it's
a
their
3 out of
fault.
10.
But when
weird.
you get a license, especially a kids game license, they're just like, we don't care if this is good, just get it out the door. Like, that's what most kid games are.
Yeah, I guess.
Can you think of a good Ninja Turtle game from anywhere between now and 1995? Probably not.
I think the last one wasn't great, was it? It was decent. It was okay. I think I can't remember.
I don't even remember.
But again, like, yeah, it's not very like, it's not like Arkham where it's like, oh, remember that game? And it's unforgettable. Where it's compared to like, I can barely remember. So, okay, so the game we were thinking of doing was like we were going to do the prediction thingy again. I think the game I wanted to do personally, because I was like, yeah, that kind of looks interesting, was the Lords of the Fallen.
Yes.
Which I think will do decent enough. I think it looks good. It looks good, but I haven't
This'll
really...
be
problem is I
interesting.
haven't read up on it enough
Yeah,
to
that's
like,
the thing, is that I know nothing about this
so
game.
it's very kind of just like, give it a 7, give it an 8, whatever. But
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm expecting too.
you
You want to do that then?
well, I don't mind, because the thing is, we don't really know too much about it. So,
I know what it is. I know that the developer has a relatively crappy track record, so that might come into play.
Let's just do like 7, 7.5, and 8.
I take the 7.
Okay, I'll take 7.5.
That's 8 is too optimistic for me.
All right, you get 7.25.
There you
Okay,
go.
I'm gonna give it a 77 because I'm lovely like that. There you
All right,
go.
yeah, let's just.
You're
I'm
an
gonna pick
optimist.
73.
I'm gonna pick 70.
Gosh darn it!
Now, the reason I don't.
$1.
The reason I was like, it looks good because I've seen it play and it looks fine. It looks.
I
like,
hope it's good.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, I hate kind of doing these reviews at the same time, because it's kind of like saying like, well, if it's anything, like people are like, well, if it's less than a 9, you obviously think it's going to be bad. No, I want this game to be good. I want to be, most of the time I do want to be proven wrong and be like, I want this game to get like a 10, so it's amazing. But
I was.
we'll see.
Oh, no, I guess I wasn't. I was gonna say I was proven wrong with Alien, but I guess no. Everything I said about it came
Yeah, that was the
came
same.
true. It's just it bothered
Yeah.
people less than I thought it would.
Yeah, that was a bit of a weird game that came out. It's like people were really kind of harping on these issues, and even when I still see people playing the game, I like the AI is fucking wiggity as fuck. It's all over the place half the time. It's just
Wiggity.
like, yeah, it's wiggity. It's like it's turning left, then suddenly, oh, I'm turning right and run out of the room. Like, Jesus Christ.
It's weird. I don't think anyone will say that, hey, this game's perfect. I just think that the highs are outweighing the lows for most
Yeah.
people, I guess.
Yeah, it was that kind of like, oh,
And it goes on for too long.
We thought the lows would have brought it down a bit more, but I guess not.
And it might for us. Who knows?
Yeah, that's the thing. Reviews
you
are
never-
subjective at the end of the day.
What?
Yes, I'm just
What are you
blew your
talking
mind. So yeah, I think Lords of Fallen will be fine.
I don't even freaking. I should probably write down what we said. You said 70, L?
Yep.
I can't remember what I said. 77, I
7?
think.
You said 77.
Sure.
I,
73.
you know,
Why not?
yes, I said 73. I think I'm in the mood for another Dark Souls-like thing.
Yeah, I was just
That's-
going to say, because Dark Souls just finished up. The last DLC came out, I think, about 2-3 weeks back. It's all done with, basically. And unless they're going to bring it to PS4, Bloodborne's not out till February. So, there's the market's
And
there. I
neither
guess.
of us have a PS4, so
Yeah, there you go. Is it coming to PS4?
it is only coming. In Bloodborne is only coming to PS4.
Oh, no, I meant Lords of the Fallen. Is
No,
that
Lords
coming?
of the Fallen is coming to Xbox One, PS4, and PC October 28th.
All right,
So
cool.
it will be out. Hopefully, people will review it, but it will be out by the time the next podcast happens. So,
Yeah. Next
all right, hold on.
podcast.
I'm going to do this again. Wait, it's 73 for me.
70
Elle
for
said
Elle
70.
and 77 from me. Ooh, guys, next week is Halloween.
I know.
Spooky.
What are you guys gonna dress up as?
I'm not dressing up.
What?
I'm still trying to figure it out. Because it's like, I wanted to do something really cool where it's like, yeah, it's a sweet costume. I wanted to do, okay, so, a bit of a nerdy costume, I guess. But I wanted to do, Ben Reilly, the Scarlet Spider from Spider-Man, because it's like the easiest costume ever. So if you don't know what that is, it's basically,
I don't even know what that is.
okay, so it's like Spider-Man costume with the eyes, but it's all red, and he's wearing like a blue hoodie with the Spider-Man symbol on it. I was like, oh, that's a really easy costume to do. So I was like, yeah, I could do that. But then I was kind of like, it's going to look really crappy because I've seen a picture of someone do it. And it's like, wow, that looks so cool. And then I said, okay, I gotta go back and do something else. So I'll probably end up doing something like, I don't know, Simpsons related or something.
This semester has burnt me out so much that Halloween just kind of snuck up upon me that I haven't even thought about it. So I'm not going to do anything this year.
Aw.
Yeah. I'm not crazy about Halloween either because like it's always
It used to be my favorite holiday.
I love Halloween.
I love Halloween when it's like when I don't know when if there's a party on or something like that, someone's throwing a party, then it's always good because everyone's in costumes and no one gives a shit because just who cares? I'm dressed as fucking Batman. I'm gonna drink 10 tequila shots because why not?
I dressed up as Batman 3 years in a row when I was a kid.
Dude.
Same costume. Granted we were poor, so I couldn't exactly afford many costumes, but
there was this profound Irish thing of like when people like got costumes in Ireland. This is probably like in the 90s and the 80s. Basically, our moms would get like bin bags, like black bin bags, plastic bin bags, and just like break a hole in it or whatever, and then put our arms through it and our head through it, so it looked like we have a cape on. And yeah, like I don't know how to explain why, but kids running around wearing bin bags basically. And it's like, what's your costume? Oh, I'm a wizard.
Yep.
I'm a wizard with a black bin bag on.
Yeah, I remember the last year that I was dressed up as Batman in a row. I'm not saying, I don't even think that was the last time I ever dressed up as Batman, but in a row. Mm-hmm. I started dressing up as a bandit. I'm like, I'm changing up this year. I'm dressing up as a bandit, like an old-timey bandit with like a fedora and everything. And I drew on a mustache and everything. It was cool. And then I was about to walk out the door. I'm like, no.
Just looked at yourself.
I'm not Batman, the thing. That's the problem here.
Oh, I thought you were going to say you like just deformed into like what that guy you see like on South Park playing World of Warcraft, but with a fedora on. You're just like, oh god. Batman
took over. Batman was my childhood, so I just couldn't stop being Batman.
Yeah.
I wanted to.
Elle, you're very into costumes and stuff.
Yeah, you dress up every week anyway. So what is it?
What are you going to do?
All right.
Wow, she's going to be the Invisible Man, who's also deaf.
Yep.
Best costume ever. Oh man, I can't wait.
Apparently
I can't wait to
Elle.
see/hear that, but I guess I won't because
I'm not sure where Elle went because she's still in the call. But I think that's good. Maybe finally the pills that I gave her are kicking in and she's dead.
What?
Yes. No. Whoa. Hello.
Hi.
So we
Where'd
just
you go?
asked.
I've been
what
here.
happened? Did you not hear us?
Yeah.
Then what?
No, I'm kidding. I was making peeps.
All right.
You were making peeps?
I was peeing.
Oh.
I thought you meant like peeps.
I thought you were talking about the candy.
Yeah, sorry.
I thought you were some homemade peeps.
I was trying to
that
go at a
probably takes
moment when
longer
nobody
than
would miss me, but it didn't.
Elle is secretly a 600-pound woman with a giant oven beside her laptop right now.
Oh, it's no secret.
Making peeps and shrinky dinks.
No, I always say that
shrinky
whenever
dinks,
somebody's
the
like, where are you
stupidest
going?
things.
And I'm like, I'm making peeps, or I'm making pups, and they're like, cool, see you soon.
Pups.
You say
I'm gonna give birth to a litter outside.
Making pups. See you guys in a bit. What'd I miss?
We're talking about Halloween and how I dressed up as Batman 3 years in a row.
I remember that.
But you didn't hear the part where I said I tried to dress up as a bandit the final year that I was Batman and decided right before I walked out the door that a bandit wasn't Batman and I switched back to Batman.
He just kept tipping his fedora all night long.
Yep. Anyway. And then we said, Elle, you dress up on a weekly basis anyway. What are you going to dress up for Halloween?
Weekly.
And then I was really quiet.
Yeah.
No, I dress up all the time on a weekly basis, yes. Which makes Halloween difficult for me, actually.
Yeah, you gotta, take out all the stops for this.
Do you dress up scary?
No, usually I don't. Usually I don't know what to... ironically, because I'm like a cosplayer sometimes, usually I don't even dress up for Halloween. Which is sad. What? I know.
I mean, that's a costume, basically. If every other day is a costume... If you dress up every other day but Halloween?
Every other day is like an anime costume. Halloween is like special. You gotta be like something special on Halloween, and I usually am too intimidated by that idea to dress up.
I always like the idea that you need to be scary on Halloween.
I'm not gonna be scary this Halloween.
And Batman is scary.
I'm gonna be kind of scary, I guess.
I'm not dressing up.
I'm dressing up.
Hey, if you guys in the comments, the 30 to 40 of you on a good day that listen to this thing.
I love how you slowly just kept descending. I guess
You should.
Whoever's
You
listening.
should all make comment what you want Randy to be for Halloween.
I'm not dressing up for Halloween.
Yeah, but
You can comment all you want, but it will not happen.
What were you leading to then?
I was just going to say what you're going to dress up as.
Oh
The comments
yeah,
people are
you should. I'm gonna be Tinkerbell from
Oh.
Peter
It's not
Pan.
scary.
Well, I'm gonna be Tinkerbell when you don't believe in fairies.
So dead,
Yeah, she dies.
but then you clap
Yep,
and gets her back
that's
up.
what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna make people clap for me.
Yeah, but then what are you going to do?
Well,
Because if your costume is dead Tinkerbell, you can't wipe off the makeup and do this every time. Is that what you're going to do? You're just going to be like, I wipe off the makeup, now I'm alive.
I'm not gonna be dead.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
But what are you going to look like?
I'm gonna
Will you
have,
just look like Tinkerbell and act like you're dying?
No, I'll have the the dark circles and the bony collarbone.
Right, but if the people clap for you, then are you going to wipe off the dark circles and stuff?
No, I'm just gonna say it's too late.
It's like, okay, I'm alive, but I'm permanently disfigured.
Could you just let me have this, Randy?
Yeah,
Please.
just trying to. All right.
So I was just thinking of what was the best costume I've ever seen, and I just remember seeing this one online. It was this guy. He was wearing regular clothes, but he had a big coat on. But he put coat hangers and stuff in his clothes, so it would kind of stay in place. And he did it in such a way so whenever someone took a picture of him, it looked like he was standing in a hurricane. Like he was whoa, his face and all his clothes were blowing back. So it looked like he was in the middle of a twister or really ridiculous wind, and he's hands up and he's trying to walk through it. He has the umbrella that's inside out and everything. It was so funny just to see, and then you get to see him walking around normally, and you're like, oh, I don't get his costume. But then when someone takes a picture of it, it's just yes, that is so good.
Have you guys ever gotten to a point where you were either told a story or experienced it, and you don't remember which one it was?
Yeah.
I can't remember. So I'm thinking of this costume. I can't remember if I was told about this costume or if I was actually there when I saw it. I can't remember. But either way, it was this costume where this guy had his head in a jar, and it was actually his head.
Oh,
in
cool.
a jar.
Like in Futurama.
Yeah, and it was under his arm or something, and he must have been contorted in this really weird way because he looked like he was standing up, but his head was in a jar. And it's not like he was abnormally sized.
Yeah. They always freak me out. They're just so, how do people do that?
Yeah, it's like, you've got to have scoliosis or something.
Maybe they
Finally,
do.
my
Disease
is coming on.
Spina bifida.
I've seen people like that where they use their not deformity, but their I'm trying to think of a nicer word.
Abnormality.
Their extraordinary circumstances in Halloween costumes, and it's whoa, shit, that's awesome.
Extra political correctness, my God.
Extraordinary.
So dumb.
I'm not being politically correct. I'm just trying to be nice.
Yes, you are.
No, I'm trying to be a nice
What would you call
person.
it, Randy? What would you call it?
I'm not political at all.
Disfigurements or abnormalities, I would call them.
Yeah, okay. It's better than those.
To me, it's not about being politically correct. It's just about being nice.
I mean, if they're willing to dress up their disfigurement, then I'm sure they're not sensitive to their disfigurement.
I guess.
It's not like I'm afraid someone's gonna come up to me and be like, "Are you saying that I'm disfigured? How very dare you!"
Oh God, did you do a voice?
What?
I thought you just did a voice of someone who was disfigured.
No, I was just talking.
I did because I heard the mic. I thought you were putting on a voice, and I was like, oh God.
What did you think I was doing? Oh no! I just
yes, I
spoke
did.
Slightly
Think you were doing
lower than normal.
All right, that might be where I draw the line there, and that's probably where we should probably end, because it can only get worse from here.
Yeah, we're just slippery slope.
Nathan, thank you for coming.
Yes.
Elle, thank you as well.
Thank you.
It was a good one.
Yeah.
I thought it was gonna suck. I'm not gonna lie.
Ouch. Oh, okay.
Not because of you guys, but because I don't know. I've been down lately. I'm negative.
Well, next week is our Halloween spooktacular, so
yeah. So maybe I'll play more Evil Within.
We should play. Yeah, we should play something scary. Let's play something scary for next week.
Yeah, let's do that.
I'll talk about it.
And let's talk about Five Nights at Freddy's and Evil Within today.
Hey, it's the season.
'Tis the season to pee your pants.
Yeah.
That's what I always like to say. All right.
We're all going to do accents next week.
We're doing. See ya, guys. This is bye.
Goodbye.
Randy, I love you so much.
I don't.
That's not very nice.
It wasn't me. It was a fan.
I don't. Whoever that fan was is a jerk.